My first big break is when I got shot when I was 15. It changed my life and it made me not hang out in the streets as much and go to the movies more. Those sort of things are wake-up calls to have a better appreciation of life and better appreciation for people around me. From that moment in my life, I put all my energy into what I believed in, and at that time it was playing basketball and sports. That led me to a scholarship, basketball scholarship, where I first went to West Virginia State, and then I transferred to WVU and played basketball for a few years there. After that, a professor said that I should take an art class for whatever reason. In the art class, I fell in love with the idea of being an artist. I fell in love with an artist by the name of Caravaggio, who was a Baroque painter from the streets of Italy, a bit of a troublemaker. He actually got into a duel and a fight over a woman and killed a guy, and then eventually he was hunted down and he was killed eventually in his life. But he was an amazing artist, and it was a big lesson to me that a lot of artists don't always come from money or a certain type of family. There's no one set place that the artist has to come from. I discovered in the art class Kurosawa, who was a painter, and his storyboards were a subject of conversation one day. And he did the film Seven Samurai, and then I watched Magnificent Seven. And of course, those movies are influential when you're a kid because I love Westerns. It was something that sort of happened inside of me, an awakening of a part of me that I didn't know existed. In retrospect, I guess, as a kid, I used to go to the movies a lot and watch movies late at night. I still do it now, but I didn't realize that I had a passion to actually tell stories until then. And I came to New York, worked as a PA, lived in Brooklyn, lived in Harlem. I took my rent money to create something to show the work. And I put together a little short film called Exit. And it was a story about a guy who was go figure, a drug dealer. He discovers his girlfriend's body, starts having these illusions of stigmata, and eventually he takes his own life. It was a comedy. I sent that around to all the record labels, and they didn't know what to make of it. Skipping a lot of other things, but I got a call one day from Jerry Bruckheimer, and he had a film called Dangerous Minds. And he wanted to know if I wanted to do a music video with a guy named Coolio. I asked Jerry Bruckheimer, you think Michelle Pfeiffer would be in the video? Of course, I'm a kid of Scarface, so if I could work with Michelle Pfeiffer, I was like living, I was it, I had made it. I spoke to Michelle, she was a nice lady, and she said, absolutely, I'll do it. And the movie became a big hit, and Jerry Bruckheimer was kind enough to give me a lot of credit for it because they used my music video. When Bruckheimer and people like that started to speak your name, it kind of blew through Hollywood, this new guy, and the irony was that everybody thought I was the new French director. No one had any idea I was this guy from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So I was to walk in the room, and people would literally ask me to get coffee. I would say, no, I'm the director, and it was kind of like, and I loved watching their faces. That was fun. The reason why I put the money together to do Exit was because I have a younger brother who came to visit me when I was living in Harlem on 125th Street. And at that time, Harlem was not a nice place. I had a job where we were doing a car commercial, and I was just a PA. And he had come to see me from Pittsburgh. And of course, I'm the big brother and got basketball scholarships and all kind of stuff. And he's seeing me living in a pretty nasty place and barely making it, eating tuna fish and macaroni and cheese and pork and beans and wieners or anything that would last for a long period of time. Tuna fish, Wonder white bread and all that kind of fun stuff. And I was working on the job, and they had to paint the roads because it was it's supposed to be a European commercial. So they painted the roads, the stripes on the road. So when the job was over, I was handed a scrub brush, a bucket, and a white van to go clean the yellow lines off the road. And I looked over at my little brother who was sitting there while I'm scrubbing the road. And I remember saying, I'll never do this again. I'll never allow anybody to put me in this position to scrub a road when you could have got a machine to do it. But because when you're at the bottom, when you're a PA, that's the kind of thing sometimes people have a tendency to do to you. So I took that as fire as opposed to a negativity. I took it as fire, and I dropped the bucket, dropped the brush, took my brother down and fed the ducks, went home, never PA'd again. So what I'm saying is that sometimes things in life happen to you, you have to take them and use them as the fuel to push you forward in whatever your dream might be and not go backwards. You got to burn the bridge behind you and move forward and believe in what you're doing, and by any means necessary. As a filmmaker, you have to explore everything in life. You can't close your mind. You have to feed your artists. You can't be so closed-minded not to appreciate a ballet, an opera, a Caravaggio painting, a Rembrandt, a de Kooning, Vermeer, any of them. You have to open your mind to other things. You have to feed your artists and not let anybody put you in a box ever.